In the industrial landscape of Nazi Germany, few facilities held as much symbolic and tactical significance as the Henschel und Sohn factory complex in Kassel. By the early 1940s, this network of workshops, assembly halls, and rail links had become the crucible of one of the most iconic armored behemoths of World War II, the Tiger I heavy tank. Henschel und Sohn's origins stretch back to the early 19th century. The factory was founded in 1810. Over the years, the company grew from a small engineering works into Germany's largest locomotive manufacturer, renowned for its steam engines and heavy industrial machinery. By the 20th century, Henschel's portfolio had broadened to include trucks, buses, aircraft components, weapons, and armored fighting vehicles. In the interwar years, as Germany rearmed, Henschel began manufacturing Panzer I tanks, and between 1939 and 1940, it expanded to assembly the Panzer III medium tank. If you are interested in how German panzer companies actually fought in World War II, I've put together a free ebook based on manuals and battlefield reports. You will find the link in the description. As German armored doctrine evolved through 1941, the German army recognized an urgent need for a new class of tank, one that could tackle heavy armored Soviet and Allied tanks at long range. The result was the Panzerkampfwagen 6, better known simply as the Tiger tank. This new heavy tank was designed to pair heavy armor with the devastating 8.8 cm cannon, the very gun that had already earned fearsome reputation as an anti-aircraft and anti-tank weapon on earlier battlefields. By 1941, two competing designs for the heavy tank had reached maturity. One by Dr. Ferdinand Porsche, and the other by Henschel engineers led by Professor Erwin Aders. Ultimately, Henschel's design, which featured a more conventional drivetrain, was selected. Unlike medium tanks that could be produced in large numbers through distributed manufacturing, the Tiger was very complex. Its armor plating, torsion bar suspension, and immense gun were all technologies that strained Germany's industrial capacity. Even the assembly of these vehicles was a challenge. A Tiger could take roughly twice as long to build as a Panzer IV or other medium tanks of the period. If you enjoy going deeper into history, I publish 3 new World War II themed word search books every single week, covering battles, tanks, units, and many more. These aren't just puzzles. They let you reconnect with the past while keeping your mind sharp. They also make a great gift for any World War II buff or anyone who appreciates a good classic puzzle book. Check them out in the description below. It is a little known fact that the Henschel complex in Kassel was not a single factory, but a network of facilities, each contributing parts of the larger production process. While individual tank components like hull castings, guns, turrets, or tracks might be produced by specialized subcontractors, the final assembly occurred in the Kassel plant. Alongside its heavy tank work, the Henschel works were deeply integrated into Germany's logistic and military infrastructure. Railway spurs run directly into the plant, enabling complete Tigers to roll off the line and O2 flatbed rail cars ready for deployment to training grounds or the front lines. The workforce was vast, often operating in 2 12-hour shifts with thousands of workers, including forced and foreign laborers, assembling heavy armor, gun mounts, and engines. Inside the assembly halls, the production process was organized in the so-called takt system, a 9-stage sequence spanning 6 hours per takt, with a full Tiger requiring approximately 14 days from start to finish. The workers moved the tank through successive phases from welded hull to completed vehicle, with final paint and testing in the last stages before dispatch. Actual production of the Tiger I began in August of 1942 at the Kassel facility, with the very first vehicle completed on the 4th of August. Initial expectations were modest, an initial production rate of about 25 Tigers per month, but manufacturing ramped up steadily as workflow, tooling, and workforce experience improved. The monthly output increased through late 1943 and into 1944, reaching a peak of more than 100 vehicles in April of 1944. By the time production ceased in August of 1944, Henschel had completed approximately 1,340 Tiger I tanks, a remarkable total given the vehicle's complexity, and yet small compared with tens of thousands of medium tanks and armored vehicles built by Germany's industry. The Tiger's production run was characterized by continuous refinement. Many vehicles incorporated incremental adjustments, changes to transmission components, armor plate layout, and mechanical parts, as designers responded to battlefield experience and logistical realities. However, these modifications often complicated production rather than simplifying it, given the tight tolerance and high-grade materials required. While production numbers might appear small relative to other German tanks, the Tiger made an outsized impact on combat thanks to its lethal combination of firepower and armor. Its gun was capable of knocking out virtually any Allied tank at ranges beyond those at which it could be effectively engaged, and its thick frontal armor resisted most contemporary anti-tank weapons. Long before Tiger production began, Allied airplanners saw Kassel as a strategic target. The city's location in central Germany, its railway junctions, military headquarters, aircraft factories, and, of course, the Henschel armaments works made it natural focus for the Royal Air Force Bomber Command's evolving area bombing campaign. On the night of the 27th of August 1942, A force of 306 Royal Air Force bombers attacked Kassel in one of the earliest large raids on the city. The raid inflicted significant damage, destroying parts of the Henschel's factory buildings as well as residential neighborhoods. Allied crews lost more than 30 aircraft, and nearly 200 residents and soldiers were killed or wounded. These raids occurred just weeks before the Tiger production officially began, underlining the strategic challenge faced by the German planners. Industrial targets, especially those tied to heavy armor and aircraft production, were difficult to defend against sustained air assault. Through 1942 and 1943, Kassel was repeatedly bombed, both at night by the Royal Air Force and in daylight by the US 8th Air Force. By 1944, the Allied bombing campaign was intensifying. A mission in late September of 1944, aimed specifically at the Henschel works, intended to cripple Germany's armor production capacity, though misnavigation sometimes diverted the bombers. While the Tiger I production ended in August of 1944, the Kassel works shifted much of its focus to the new Tiger II heavy tank, a larger and more heavily armored successor. Orders had been placed as early as late 1942 for the Tiger II's development and initial prototypes, but the full series production did not begin until January of 1944. The Tiger II was even more resource-intensive than its predecessor, with thicker armor and more complex components, and its production was severely disrupted by Allied bombing. Damaged production space and transportation bottlenecks slowed output, such that only a few hundred Tiger IIs were completed before the end of the war. By early 1945, with Allied forces advancing into Germany, the once mighty Henschel works was a shadow of its former self. During the final Battle of Kassel in April of 1945, the city was captured by US forces amid the ruins of its factories and workshops. Even then, Henschel crews managed to complete a handful of Tiger II tanks, which were handed over to the heavy tank units defending the area. A testament that the stubborn endurance of German industry even in its death throes. The story of the Henschel tank factory and Tiger production is as much about industrial ambition as it is about the technological and logistical limits of warfare. The Tiger I remains one of the most iconic tanks of World War II. Its fearsome reputation shaped as much by psychology as by battlefield performance. By the war's end, Kassel and similar manufacturing hubs lay in ruins, their wartime output overshadowed by destruction and loss. Today, the legacy of Henschel and its Tiger tanks lives on in museums, restoration projects, and the historical memory of engineers, soldiers, and historians. A powerful chapter in the story of industrial warfare and the Armored Age. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.